Okay, I'm back. Hopefully it's working. Sorry about that. Oops. I'm hoping that you are back with me. Nobody's messaged me to say, where are you? So I'm hoping you could see what I was saying. If you're just coming back on, I'm really sorry. It wouldn't let me do anything. I'm hoping you can now type. So I'll wait to see. If not, I'll just chat to myself and hope that you can see what I'm doing. Who knows? But yeah, let me know if you're here. Hopefully it'll work. Also, I can see someone typing. Yay! Okay, hi Danny, hi Melissa. Okay, wicked. I don't know what its problem was, but we fixed it, so it's cool. Just gonna move this back a bit. Right. Whilst we're just waiting for people to join, I forgot to write on the instructions what you need. So you need 2 tins. I'm using my nan's old 8-inch tins, which are greased and lined. So whilst we just wait for people to join, if you just quickly grab some tins and we'll go from there. But yeah, okay, cool. That was good, that was stressful. When I logged out of this because it wasn't working, I logged back in and it was like, you need to verify your account. I couldn't remember the password. It was very stressful. So I'm now all like, it's okay because we're in and we're good to go. So I'll just wait for a couple more people to say hi, because to be fair, they might be confused if they logged on and I wasn't there. So I was trying to work out how to do the password situation. We'll wait for them and then we'll get going. Anyway, whilst we wait, I'm going to chat about what we're doing today. So, like I said, you need 2 tins. Mine are 8 inches. You can use a 6-inch. I think a 9-inch will make your cake too thin. Which is, I don't know if these are still a thing. Oh, what is wrong with it now? Your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try to connect you. I have no idea if you can hear me. I'm just going to carry on in the hope that you can. Let me know if you can. So, like I was saying before YouTube really interrupted me, we're making a checker cake, which basically, when you cut into it, it's all different colours, like a chessboard, black and white. So that's what I'm making today. Okay, cool. Right, Danny said it's good. Okay, so I think we just get started and people can join in when they're ready. You happy with that? I'm happy with that. So let's go. Right. So I know that most of you have weighed your ingredients out, but we just need to weigh the bowl. Now, I know last time you all ignored me when we made a cake because you were like, I'm not going to bother weighing the bowl. You actually need to weigh the bowl this time because we have to separate our cakes the same. If one's higher than the other, this isn't going to work. So you need to separate your cake mixture equally. So I'm just going to write mine down because I won't remember it. So just weigh your bowl and then go back to 0. There we go. And then we can start. So this is one of my favorite cake recipes because you don't need to write it down. Everything's the same. It's 150 grams of everything and then 3 eggs, large eggs. So I'm going to start. So I've got, surprisingly, 150 grams of butter. I'm just going to put that in my bowl. Like so. Set it back to 0. 150 grams of caster sugar. 150 grams of self-raising flour. If you're using plain flour, add a pinch of baking powder. And then a heaped-ish, like a teaspoon and a bit of baking powder. I'm always liberal with the baking powder, I'm not even going to lie. Like I see some bakers like pick it out with a spoon and then level it off. I've never done that in my life. More washing up, not a fan. Right, and then 3 eggs are going to go into here. Like I said last week, or I've said many times, confident going straight into the bowl, do it in a separate bowl so that you can make sure that there's no shell. So I'm just going to go straight in with 3 eggs. Oh, we haven't set the oven. We need to set the oven. I'll just get my eggs in. Hang on a sec. Okay. Right, so the oven needs to go on 160 degrees or gas mark 4. So I'm just going to wipe my hands because I've got egg on them. And then I'll put the oven onto 160 degrees or gas mark, should I say 4 or 3? I think it's 3, gas mark 3. Okay. So clean hands and all of our mixture in the bowl. That is it. So you're just going to get a whisk. If you've got an electric hand whisk, you can use that. If you've got, like a freestand mixer, you can also use that. You can use a wooden spoon. You can use a metal spoon. You can use anything. You just need to combine it until it's smooth, and it shouldn't take too long. So I'm just going to mix it up. I'm going to come and show you what it should look like. Okay. Because our butter is soft, it's easy, and we're not making like a massive mixture. It's not loads. It's quite easy. So I know the connection's really bad on YouTube, but I'm going to come and show you. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that it's still a bit lumpy? That's not what we want. We want it to be nice and smooth. With cake mixture, you can overbeat it. So once it's smooth, you need to stop. Don't keep doing it because you're making it smooth, but you're also putting air in. If you keep going, you'll take the air out. It's the same with meringue. If you over whisk meringue, you take all the air out and it doesn't work. Okay. So I am done. So it should look like that. So it's nice and smooth. There's no lumps. And that's it, really. So I'll just wait for you guys to say that you're okay, and then we'll crack on. I mean, I'm sure you are. I just don't want to do this bit without, like, when you're concentrating on someone else, because this is important, this next bit. So we'll just wait and make sure you're okay. So 2, 3, 2, 7. Hopefully you're all right. Okay. So I was just doing some quick maths. Okay, cool. Right, so Danny's done, so I'm hoping the rest of you are too. So where you weighed your bowl, you need to take your whatever you're mixing with out and weigh your bowl again. Okay, so mine's 2, 3, 2, 3. And then you need to take that off of what your bowl weighed, and that will tell you how much ingredients you've got in. So I've got 500, I just did it quickly, I've got 525 grams worth of mixture in my bowl. So I'm going to split it in half. I'm going to put 525 into one pan. No, I'm not. I'm going to put half of 525 into one pan, and then I'm going to mix the cocoa powder in. So now you're going to test my math skills. 525 is 250. Okay. So I'm putting 262 into here. Is that right? My maths is so bad. So I've put my pan on here. I've set it to 0, and I'm just going to weigh out half the mixture. Okay. Cool. Once you've weighed out half, just spread it flat. like so. I'll come and show you. And it should, I mean, I've got a little blob on the top of mine, but it should look like that. So it's pretty, you can't really, you can see, it's even. We're going to get the other half of the mixture, put in our tablespoon of cocoa powder, and mix that in. So then we've got one layer of chocolate and one layer of vanilla. Oh, I just spilled it all over myself. I hate cocoa powder, it's so messy. Right. It doesn't like stick to anything. Oh, it's a joke. This top was clean on. Right. So just mix it up until you've got one layer of cocoa. Okay, can't coat my top, so I'm just going to wipe it off. I'll be back. I'm 99% sure that made it worse. Right, so you now should have chocolate one. Do exactly the same. Just put it straight into your other tin. Like so. Sorry, this bowl's very heavy. Oh, I'm just weighing it to see how bad my maths was, which was pretty bad. Oh man. Okay. So you should end up with 2 trays like so. I'll just wait for you. My oven's ready, but I'll just wait for you and make sure that you're okay. Hi. There's only a few of you chatting, so it's hard to tell because obviously when there's less people chatting, there's less chat. You know what I mean. Right. Just going to wait here and make sure that you're okay. Oh, sorry, my face is very close, isn't it? I can't move that way because there's stuff in the way. Hopefully you're all right. It was very stressful and that wouldn't work earlier. I do have to say, as much as YouTube is better because you can all be in the same place, it's not as good as Facebook for like it's how connected it is and everything, all that jazz. Right. I'm assuming you're okay. So I'm going to put mine in the oven. How quick was that? So quick. So once you've got your 2 cakes, we're just going to put them in the oven for 20 minutes. That is it. So right, mine are in for 20 minutes. Hopefully, I have no idea, but mine are. So we then need to make icing because we're going to ice these ones. So I'm just going to grab a bowl. Wait for you guys to let me know that you're okay. And then start making icing. Hopefully you are. Oh, here we go. What's Melissa saying? I'm still getting rid of lumps in the butter. Was it softened? It was not softened, was it? I'll let you off. For those, I know you can't see the comments afterwards when it's uploaded, but she's just like, well, you know, it wasn't softened. Do you know what? It doesn't matter because I'm in true Blue Peter style. Here's 2 I made earlier. So whilst you guys carry on doing that, I'm actually going to show you how we're going to ice them because otherwise we have to wait for these to cook, then wait for them to cool, then ice them. Whereas these can cook and then you can pause me and then come back and ice them later. But I'll do mine now and I can show you. So on this occasion, it does not matter that you did not soften your butter, Melissa, it will let you off. So I'm sure I wrote softened on the instructions. 99% sure. So we're going to go in with our softened butter. To be fair, you do definitely want this to be soft. Otherwise, it's going to take you a million years to do what you need to do. Now, you can either have white icing, vanilla icing, or you can have chocolate icing. Danny said she failed with the measuring evenly. So did I, to be fair. My maths was not good. So we'll be all right. These ones came out good, but hopefully they'll be okay. So if you want to have vanilla icing, skip this step, but I want to have chocolate. So I'm just going to add some cocoa powder. I reckon that's a dessert spoon. And then a bit of milk, like literally a splash. And then I'm just going to start breaking the butter down. So you'll see with this, I don't know if you'll notice it if you don't bake all the time, but I find cocoa powder doesn't mix very well. So I just want to make this almost into like a paste so that when we add our icing sugar, it combines. You don't have to do this, but I just, as you saw, like the cocoa powder went all over me, and I just find it has a tendency to not mix with stuff particularly well. So, I mean, this doesn't look very exciting, but it's just literally like a rough paste. So I'm just going to add my icing sugar. So hopefully now you guys have got your cakes in the oven and are either making your icing, which you don't need to because your cakes are going to take longer to cool, or you're just watching me. You can't see. Move that out of the way. So I've put my icing sugar in. We're just going to gently like fold it in. So like go around the bowl and fold it over. Just keep going. It's really dry when you first start. You've got to be persistent. Just be patient. Keep going. If you've done all the bake-alongs, you'll know, I've said before, when you make icing, your first instinct is to look at that and go, oh, it's really dry, I'll add liquid. Don't do that. Just keep going, because you will need to add liquid eventually, but if you add liquid now, you end up with a runny mess. It's not what we want. We don't want it sliding all over the show. So I'm just using the back of the spoon to press down into the bowl. And I'll show you. Can you see? 2 seconds ago, it looked like it was never going to come together, and now it's starting to. So we're just going to keep going. So I'm going to show you. I've now got icing, yay! But I have enough, so I didn't add all of my icing sugar, so I'm just going to add a bit more. The more you bake, obviously, it's the same with everything. The more of it you do, the better you get. You get to know what you do and don't like. I can tell just from looking at this that it's got not enough icing sugar in it. It's got too much butter. It's never it's not going to taste bad. It's just not the texture that I like. I'm just going to add some more icing sugar. And I'll need more milk now because I've added dry, so it's going to get really dry again. But I will have to add more liquid to get the consistency I want. So I don't know if you're making along with me live, but if you are, then you'll just need this for when your cakes have cooled. So I'm just putting like just a little tiny drizzle of milk. You don't need a lot. It does make a huge difference. Right. I should be using a whisk, really. I find it gets the lumps out better. Okay, cool. Melissa's are in the oven. Well done, Melissa. So if you want, Melissa, you can make your icing, or you can just wait and make it once your cakes are cooled. If you make it now and you're not going to ice it for like an hour-ish, just once you've made it, just cover it in some cling film, because otherwise it gets like a hard top, which is fine. You can beat it out of it, but it's easier to just put some, like just cover it, and then it won't be a problem. Right, this is where the fun stuff happens, okay? So I'll show you my icing. Done. I personally would probably have it a little bit thicker, but I didn't give you guys that much icing sugar, so I feel like it would be cheating. Unless you give permission, in which case I'll add some. Right. So, this is the fun bit. So, I did write this down earlier. Once your cakes come out of the oven, you need to leave them to completely cool. So, the recommendation from most, like if you read most baking books, is leave them to cool for 10 minutes in the tray, in the tin, and then tip them out onto a cooling rack, like so. Yeah, so that's what I've done. So I'm gonna get my cake. So I'm gonna do this one first. Now, I'm using upside down cutters, but if you wanna use a bowl, I mean, this bit, no, that's a bit big, but I've got smaller bowls. So if you wanna use a bowl and a ramekin, that's fine. You just need 2 circles, one that is bigger than the other. Okay, that's all you need. And then I'll come and show you. You need to have like a gap around the outside. Okay? So if you're using a bowl, you just place your bowl on the top and cut around. Okay? I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do this. So I've just cut a hole. So I'm going to gently, really gently, lift that up and place it to the side. And then I'm going to do exactly the same with my smaller one. Like I said, if you're using a bowl, just cut round it, and then you cut round your ramekin. Just really gently. This one's in, and then cut it out like that. Okay, so now I've got 2 rings. Oh, you can see 2 rings and a center. So I'm going to get my chocolate cake really carefully. And I'm going to do exactly the same. So also I'm cutting mine. This is the top. I'm cutting mine upside down. I'm not going to lie, I don't know if that makes a difference, but I feel like this side is a little bit more robust. So I'm cutting from underneath. What are you saying? Hello, sorry I'm late again. Well, what can I say? That's fine. Right, okay, so we're going to do exactly the same. So the big ring, straight in, really gently take your circle off. Do the smaller one, like so. Really gently take your ring off, okay? So now we've got 2 big circles, 2 smaller circles, and 2 centers. So all we're going to do is alternate them. So I've got my big vanilla cake. I'm going to get my medium chocolate one and put it in the middle. And gently press it in. Just lift the other cake up if it doesn't go. And then I'm going to get my white center and put it in. You should end up with what looks like a target. That's the aim, okay? And then I'm going to do exactly the same the other way around. So I've got my big chocolate circle. I'm going to put my medium vanilla circle in. And then my chocolate middle. And then you should have exactly the same, but the other way around. So I'm going to try and lift it up and show you because I know that the camera's not the best. So you should end up with that. And that. And then all we're going to do is ice it. So I'm just going to get some icing, put it on, whichever one you want the base to be. Doesn't really matter. And then you can either use, if you've got a palette knife, that is great. If you haven't, just use the back of a spoon. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm just gently pressing it out with the back of a spoon, like so. So that I can put the other layer on top. I need a bit more. And just press it all the way to the edges. Like so. Now I'm going to gently pick up this one. And I'm going to flip it so that this is now the top. And I'm going to gently place it on, like so. Now, you know what I said about your layers being the same height? This is why. Because if you have a dark chocolate cake that's like this, and a vanilla cake that's like this, when you cut them out, they're not going to be the same level. So, that looks pretty level, I'm not going to lie. Pretty tough with that. So, this is what you end up with. I'm just going to move some of the crumbs, and I'll show you. I don't want to lift it because I've just made it, but I'm going to go for it and hope that it's all okay. Right, yay. This is what you end up with, okay? It doesn't look very exciting at the moment, but it will. So, I'm just going to find something to put it on. Hang on a sec. I'm going to wash my hands. Wash my hands and put it on something. Put it on a plate. Right. Should have thought that through really, shouldn't I? Okay, there we go. So, this is your checkered cake. I was going to layer my other two on top once I'd finished, but I don't think that that's the best idea in the world. So, you can either leave it like this and just dust it with icing sugar. That's fine. Or, you can ice the top, which is what I'm going to do, because otherwise it looks like a weird little target. You can ice the sides as well. If you're bothered about the fact that they're different colours, you can ice the sides. You need to make slightly more icing, but so just literally exactly the same as what we did in the middle. Just gradually and gently push it out to the sides. Does that make sense? I hope I've done that like slow enough and easy enough for you to understand. The good thing is that I'm definitely ahead of you all because obviously everybody's cakes are still in the oven. So you can pause and rewind me, which is what everybody needs in their life. Me on pause. Right. Okay. That's it. And then you do what you want. If you want to put little bits on top, crack on. If you want to put some icing sugar, again, crack on. So this, is a checkerboard cake. Sorry, checkered cake, not a checkerboard cake. I'm not going to cut mine just yet because obviously I've literally just iced it and I want it to set just slightly, but I will cut it and show you what it looks like on the gram in about half an hour. But I don't want to do it now because it's not set enough. It needs to just solidify and stick together, which it won't do at the moment. But I'm hoping that you'll be excited when you cut into it, especially if you're a small person, because I remember I used to be so excited when we got these for our birthday. I mean, less so now. I know how easy it is. Come on, Anne. Make an effort. I'm just kidding. She used to make amazing birthday cakes. Yeah. So that is it. I'll obviously wait with you to make sure they come out of the oven. You need a skewer just to check that they're cooked, but they should be 20 minutes. Should be plenty. You should be all good. How are you doing? I mean, unless you're still making icing, you should all be either not watching or absolutely fine. Let me know. If you want to put icing around the edge as well, use a knife. It's much easier than a spoon. And if you've got a palette knife, or if you're serious about baking, a palette knife is honestly such a great investment. It makes your life a million times easier because it's angled, just like an angled spatula. Yeah, so get a palette. Yeah, a baker's palette knife. They're not expensive. You can get them in Hobbycraft. But for stuff like this, they're so much easier if you're going to bake all the time. But if not, like you just saw, you can absolutely do it with a spoon. You don't need to spend loads of money. Right. I'm just watching and walking. I'm just watching. What does that say? I'm just watching and waiting. All right. Cool. I'm not watching, obviously. Okay, cool. Right. So yeah, so that's it. How do we feel about the whole like, here's one I made earlier, Blue Peter vibes. Is that helpful? Doesn't mean I've ended up with 2 cakes, but is that helpful or are we not fast? With some stuff, obviously, that comes straight out of the oven, we don't need to do that. Also, oh, warning beep, we're nearly ready. Can't remember what I was going to say now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're nearly done. Gosh, it's so dark. Hopefully you can still see me. I think the lighting is a bit better. We've like put a different light in. Hopefully that'll help. But yeah, anyway. I really want to cut it and show you, but I won't. I'll be patient. It's one of the things I'm not very good at, but I'm working on. Okay, cool. Right. I mean, I'm really sorry about the mess, but I feel like I can't really tidy up whilst you're still here. So we'll just all be messy together. Oh, one thing I would say is if you had like if you want to make more of this, sorry, someone's typing. What are you saying? I think the Blue Peter style was good. Okay, cool. Very this small, wasn't it? Here's one I've made earlier. Yeah, so this recipe, obviously you can do what you want to it. If you want to add coffee, bean, like you can, just melt them first. Loads of different flavors or whatever. But if you want to make it bigger, because it's so easy and it's all the same, you just have to make sure the eggs are right. So this was 150 with 3 eggs. So just make sure that if you go up, so that's what, so what, 50, 100, and 150 are your 3 eggs. So if you do 200, that's 4 eggs. So you can make it bigger or smaller. It's easy for you to change. I don't know what Melissa's laughing at, probably my this morning impression. Anyway, 17 seconds to go. Ooh, poker's at the ready. Another great investment, a skewer. Right, I'm just gonna get my oven gloves. And then I'll check, but I think we will be ready. Right, 2 seconds, I'll be back. Oh yeah, okay, mine look good, but I'll report back. Oh, interesting. Okay. Interestingly, my vanilla's done, but my chocolate isn't. So I'll show you, like I've shown you before. Can you see this has all come away from the edges? Yeah, if I touch it, it springs back and it's like got a nice even golden color. And the skewer went in. Sorry, you can't see me. The skewer went in and came out clean. So it's done. The other one, it didn't look as cooked. I put the skewer in and it didn't come out completely clean. So I just popped it back in for 2 minutes. This is a different size. This 8 inch is the size cake that I would make, but I would normally make them a lot thicker for cakes that I sell and cakes that we sell in the shop. So normally I would be able to take it out and tell you straight away without putting the skewer in that it wasn't cooked, but it's a slightly different depth for me, so I wasn't sure. But yeah, so that'll just give that another 2 minutes and then we're done. So hopefully, I know Melissa, you're a bit behind, but I'm hopefully, and everyone else, your cakes are good. Or will be. But yeah, the real telltale sign is if it's come away from the edges, you're probably good to go. It just shrinks away once it's cooked. That's like a handy way to know that your cakes are done. So Right. We're nearly done, and then I'm going to love you and leave you. Another bake along under our belts, guys. Wonderful stuff. Okay. I feel like I am going to ice the outside of that cake. I was like, oh, it doesn't bother me that it's 2 different colours, but now that I can see it on camera, it kind of does. I don't know, does it bother me? I feel like it does. Once it's cut, you can't tell though, can you? Right. I'll take this out. There we go. I'm done. So that one's come away from the edges and is the same. My chocolate one is quite a bit bigger. Okay, that's fine. I didn't weigh mine properly either because my maths is terrible. So mine needed a bit longer too, see? So we're all the same. That's fine. Just put it in a bit longer. If they're like literally like this, which hopefully they aren't, you can use a bread knife to level it off, but I don't think, there's not enough mixture, I don't think, for you to be that out. So I think you'll be okay. Just cut them and put them together. But yeah, are you okay for me to love you and leave you? Let me know. And if so, I will depart. And then I'll take a picture of my cake, but it's dark now, so it's not ideal. Oops. Winter. Yeah, Melissa's is still cooking, and I know this sounds mean, but she put hers in like 10 minutes after us, and you don't want me to just stand here and talk to you for 10 minutes. So, okay, right. Most of you are saying I can leave. Okay, thanks, guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.